Right, buddy, I want to talk about why players are struggling in the Manchester United system. I'll be talking about a few individuals, giving some examples of why they are struggling, and much, much more. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe if you are new. And let's get straight into it. Listen, the first reason why I think players are struggling is adapting to the system. Look at some players. Listen, we play three at the back. Ultimately, we haven't done that before at Manchester United, especially with this group of players in the last recent years. And ultimately adapting to new positions, new instruction, and ultimately new ideas. And that is very, very difficult. I think you look at some of the players like Delo. Amorim talked about it a lot. He said Delo used to be used to going into midfield, in possession, and making overloads there. Ultimately, in this position, he's not going to do that because he has to be someone who's out wide, tracking people down and ultimately going for the ball. So there are sort of new instructions and new system, and I don't think they're suited to the positions. You look at, for example, as I used there, Delo and Mazraoui. They're two players who, listen, they've been, that Delo last season was one of the best fullbacks in the league. Mazraoui this season been fantastic, but they're not working in the system because the system doesn't suit them. They're not suited to the position that they are playing. That's why for me, I mean, Delo, he is going to struggle to fit because I don't think he is good enough to be a wing back in this system. You look at what you need. You have to be excellent 1v1. I think Delo's a bit shaky at that. He's not taking on this man enough. He's not good enough on the ball. He's a bit shaky defensively. Will he be someone who works? I think in the centre-back system, Mazraoui kind of gets away with it because he's very good on the ball. I think Delo, his biggest weakness is probably defending, and he's not too great in attacking either. That's why he's been found out. In terms of another reason, anxious. Like Amorim talked about Onana in the game against Bournemouth recently, about being too anxious from the first kick, not being confident. That ultimately is very frustrating. That you want to impress the manager when he comes in. You want to be confident. You want to be giving 100%, and you want to show the manager that you can play. And ultimately, that's, even in any profession, not even football, that's what you want. You want a good first impression, and I think some of the players are trying hard enough. Even from the first game against Ipswich, they were trying too much. They didn't know whether to press. All the way to the game now. Listen, Amorim hasn't had a fixed amount of time. We're playing every 3 days. He hasn't had a fixed amount of time to get the players work in his system and get the players adapting to the way he wants to play. Ultimately, I think Amorim's a very good manager, knows exactly what to do with these sorts of players. But again, they are becoming anxious. Another reason, they're just not working hard enough. And you know you shouldn't be saying that about any Manchester United player who's on over 100, like, who's playing for the club. The basis of any professional footballer is working hard, work ethic. And I don't think some of these players are doing it. You look at some of them jogging back, not interested. I'm not going to mention any names, but that is a big factor in why. If you're not working hard enough, you're not giving 100%. You look at someone like Ahmad, who's took onto the system. He's worked effectively hard, and he's been patient, but ultimately is now reaping the rewards. He's another one. I think Mazraoui, listen, he's someone who consistently works hard. If you can work hard, you will ultimately overcome the challenges. And I think some of these players are not doing that enough, and they're being found out. Listen, I've been critical of Bruno, but he's someone who runs around effortlessly, 100%, and will give everything for the football club. There's some players in the team simply are just not cut out for, and ultimately will have to leave as a result of sort of position changes and simply not working hard enough. I think Rashford is definitely one of them. He's a player who listen, the fans adore, but he's not doing enough on the pitch at the minute. And he is massively struggling. You look at Rashford's performances and you look at his quality, he simply isn't there. He struggles on the pitch, and I think one of the biggest reasons, listen, we know there's a talented player there, but he just isn't working hard enough. He's not putting his 100% into everything and is massively struggling. So that's another reason. Another one, simply not good enough. You look at someone like Maguire, who's actually probably thrived in this system because it's a throughout the back. It does kind of get rid of Maguire's weakness. You have to give credit to Maguire for that. I think he has looked very, very sharp in the few games that he's played. But in the long run, is he going to be a player on 190 grand a week? He's coming up to 32. Someone who ultimately you have to look at, is he going to win us the Premier League? Probably not. Lindelof, he's someone that has to go. He's approaching 32. I think he's on over 100 grand a week. Johnny Evans, a great servant to the football club, but again, long-term future, he's not going to be someone at the club. I think Delo, you have to look at his position. Where does he fit in the team? Same with Martinez. In midfield, Eriksen, Casemiro, they're two players who are going to have to leave due to the system and also due to the age. He's on 350 grand a week, Casemiro. And you can see him being phased out of the team. That's just to a lack of performance that simply just isn't good enough. And Amorim has to make these big decisions. And I think the decisions will pay off in the long run. You have to get rid of big players when you do come into a new system. It's just the way it works. In the attacking department, Anthony, So under Ten Hag, he had to get rid of anyway. That was a shambles of a signing. Rashford, what's going to happen with him? It's still up for Xerxes and Garnacho. What are they going to do? Højlund, like, he isn't certified in his position, so it is very interesting. But I think the main reason why players are struggling is adapting to the system, new instructions, new positioning, not working hard enough. I think that's ultimately the biggest, and that should be kind of the standard of any professional, and simply not good enough. As I said, people can talk about Onana. Is he good enough to represent Manchester United? For me, I think he is, but he does have the kind of mistakes. And listen, mistakes are part of life, but he does have a bit too much frequent mistakes, and at times he does look like one of the worst keepers. So listen, it's all about finding the balance. Amorim has found it really tough. He hasn't had many times to train with the team. I don't think he has a full group for most of it. It's about rotating the players. And he is still trying to find his best team at Manchester United, whether that will be with you still find out about the players. Obviously they've had injuries. As I said, the best team, it will be very interesting to see. But that was just a quick video. I want to talk about why the players are struggling. It is very interesting to see how the times are currently going at Manchester United. I think a lot of the players are struggling, and I think some of them are struggling with confidence, form and ability. I think there are players thriving at the moment. You look at Amad Diallo, someone who's done fantastically well. And I think as time goes on, Amorim will find more and more about the squad players who are not good enough. He's already found out some players who won't work, and they've been kind of frozen out. You can see already Rashford, Eriksen, Casemiro, they've kind of been frozen out. Big earners, big players who are not doing enough for Manchester United. Look at some of the players he liked. As I said, Mazraoui, someone who's just the ultimate professional. Maguire, I think he liked a lot. De Ligt, Amad Diallo, like, these are the sort of players. But I think he's going to get the best, and we will see really at the end of the season where we are with Amorim. I'm hoping he is the man to take Manchester United forward. I think he does have the quality and the man management skills and the confidence to be an elite Manchester United manager. But as I said, nothing's guaranteed. Let's see what happens. Let me know if you did agree, disagree. That has been another video. Let me know what do you think about the current players at Manchester United, and don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe if you are new. If you are watching this, please do drop a like and subscribe. United have got some big games coming up over this festive period going into the new year. Carabao, FA Cup, we're out of the Carabao Cup, FA Cup. We've got Europa League games. Obviously Liverpool's on the horizon as well, so some tough games coming up. But yeah, let's see what happens. Thank you for watching. Leave a like. That was me talking about why players are struggling at Manchester United. Hope you did enjoy. Peace.